person with more money than eyesight.
Well, it won't be me because my eyesight's... Actually, I could be me because my eyesight's just going to hell.
Sorry,
okay.
you said that. I guess now. Let's see what happens.
Now, we're going to attempt live scoring round 3.
Yep.
Without actually knowing what they've done to the app again. Shit.
Alright, just let me know we're live. Just let me know.
Just so you know.
Oh, let me go. Probably. I wasn't sure whether I'd make it up here anyway, given everything we're running around trying to do. So.
I think you've got it.
And then that finishes on time. We've got 2 minutes to get up here.
No. Even better.
these shoes in the wash machine. Yeah, these are the only shoes.
So she's got the men's kit and you got the women's kit.
Hey, Danny, what are you doing?
Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
It's the second year of the Anzac Day clash between Yeronga South Brisbane and Maroochydore. Maroochydore winning last year's clash up at Neil Upton Oval. Yeronga proudly taking their turn to host the fixture this year. My name is Daniel Viles. It's a great pleasure to be with you today. The ceremony which you either saw on screen or you'll go back and watch it later, but we want with junior players and some of their family involved. The last post and round was played by junior player Hugo Tompkins. I can tell you from experience, trying to play without the benefit of valves in cold weather is an absolute monster, and he did admirably. Katie Tompkins read the ode, and the anthem was sung by junior player Olive Stokes. Congratulations. Well, congratulations is probably the wrong word, but well done. That's better for the three of those involved in today's Anzac ceremony. Both of these teams yet to register a win in 2025. It's been a disrupted pre-season for both sides, it's fair to say. A lot of players leaving, but one door closes, another door opens, and lots of opportunities for players. They've come from far and wide in both sides. We've got players who have played in state leagues. We've got players who played in last year's AFL Pacific Cup up at Maroochydore from both New Zealand and Papua New Guinea. We've got a Scots woman. We nearly had a Welsh player until she was withdrawn yesterday, but this will be a chance for both sides to kickstart their season. Maroochydore will probably go in as favourites, but it didn't really help that with the disrupted pre-season, both of them then had to play the might of reigning premiers Southport in the first 2 weeks. The positive side of that is that match is now out of the way. probably see the umpires in the middle of the field right now, and they've been sponsored and supported for a number of years now by Bradman's Windows and Doors. In the field, Caleb Hahn and Cooper Girola. On the boundary, Thomas Leahy, and in goal, James Hodgson and Riley Hutchinson. Thank you so much to Bradman's Windows and Doors, and congratulations to today's umpires for getting what is becoming a bit of a marquee appointment. The other Anzac Day tradition, now into its third year, Cooperoo versus Bond University, and that match will be played at Giffen Park at 3:30. No commentary for that one, which I think is a bad thing. You might think it's a good thing. It really depends on where you stand. But that match will be live streamed on the official AFLQ YouTube channel, where indeed you can see every single one of the matches in this year's Bond University QAFLW and the TPIL Lawyers QAFL, the men's competition, for the first time ever. All 212 matches from April to September will be streamed live. Not all of them with commentary. Again, I think it's a bad thing. You possibly think it's a merciful thing. Plenty of football this Anzac Day weekend as well. As I say, at 3:30, Cooperoo versus the Bull Sharks in the Bond University QAFLW. Then after that, Cooperoo versus Sherwood. Again, there'll be an Anzac ceremony before that match. That's in the men's comp, the TPIL Lawyers QAFL. Chris Yind and Kane Browning will be commentators for that match. Then tomorrow, the Maroochydore men's traditional match, the Sunshine Coast Derby between Maroochydore and Noosa. Riley Guest and Jack Barry will be your commentators in the TPIL Lawyers QAFL. And then at 4:45 tomorrow, back in the Bond University QAFLW, Aspley versus Southport. The top two teams from last year facing off at Altomore Aspley Oval. And I'll be joined in commentary by Gold Coast Sun Jamie Stanton tomorrow, who's very experienced with ABC radio commentary as well. So that will be some high-quality calling on a high-quality match. Back to today's game. Yeronga, coached by Anthony Sacco, who was a line coach last year under Stuart Mackay. As the top job this year, he's probably, you don't pay all that much for STD calls anymore, but if you did, you would have racked up a fair old phone bill calling around Australia and the world to recruit players over the past few months. But there are 6 more players making their debut for Yeronga today. Among them, Lions Academy member Kimmy Bell. She'll be wearing the number 5 shirt today. Jess Birch, from Victoria, played in the Victorian Amateur Cup with Canterbury, but then moved up and played for the Ipswich Eagles last year. Bella Turner in the number 7, from Cairns, but then also played for St Mary's in the Northern Territory competition, which is a high-standard competition. There are AFLW players who are taking a sabbatical in the winter, in the summer rather, I know my seasons. And so to play for St Mary's while still a teenager, that's a fair old effort for Bella Turner. Dina Bizamana in the number 31 shirt, another Lions Academy player. And I'm told she's got a bit of speed about her, so looking forward to that. Soraya Scarf Johnson, who crosses over from rugby union, playing Aussie rules for the first time this year. And Mika Knight, who's played for Hermit Park up in Townsville, has been at Yeronga before. And now makes her senior debut in the Bond University QAFLW. Lee Redpath in his second year coaching the Maroochydore Roos. And very much an Anzac flavour to the side today. 3 members of the New Zealand side that played in last year's AFL Pacific Cup at Maroochydore. In the number 2, you'll see Demi Sultan from the Canterbury region. In 24, the vice-captain Axel Oswald, who is a wonderful rebounding halfback. In number 55, Liv Waldron, who was the player of the tournament at the Pacific Cup last year, played for the Western Ravens in New Zealand, now on the Sunshine Coast. Fair sprinkling of former Tasmanian talent in the Maroochydore side as well. We'll see a fair few of those as the match progresses. But this is round 3. 16 rounds this year. It's the biggest women's state league we've had in this its 25th year. Yeronga South Brisbane, in their new commemorative Anzac jersey. The men wear the black with the red poppy sash. Not sure if the camera's able to get close enough, but if you see one of these jerseys close up, and there are photos on the social media channels for Yeronga's club, it's a magnificently designed jersey, and the women wearing the red version. Maroochydore also in an Anzac commemorative jersey. They're in their traditional green and gold. Abby Bouchard in the ruck for Maroochydore. And Yeronga captain Ebony Panaho. First game on the main oval at Lation Park in 2025. Bouchard got the first tap. Waldron went without it, was picked up by Danny McCarthy in the middle. Turned over to Yeronga. Moving out to this near side, which is muddy. Very wet conditions here. A lot of bad rain overnight. Was picked up by Golding, but wins a free kick as players were taken out without the ball. Amy Golding, a left footer, comes up the near wing, turns it over as it's taken by Poppy Tyndall. Tyndall keeps it wide, lands safer in the arms of Abby Rankin, who was best on ground in this fixture 12 months ago up at Maroochydore. Good punch away. That was from Panaho. Using her height well. Depot scored a couple of goals on this ground last year against the Devils. Was turned over and then turned over again. The shot came in from Bissett. And Bissett has scored. Amy Bissett, second goal this season. Played for Tasmania against Queensland last year. And she is on the board already, just after a minute gone in this fixture. Prolific goal scorer in the Northwest Tasmanian League, has represented Northwest Tasmania in their intrastate competition they have each year for several years. And played at Bond Uni last year against Queensland. Might become the first player to represent both states in that fixture. Crashing on the left-hand side was Marley Marshall from the academy. They had Biffo in the middle, eventually cleared. And a good view of the mud. It's a well-kept ground, Lation Park, but they've just had no luck. Rankin with a left footer, kicked it in field. Turned over to Golding. A little tackled away. They've kept possession well, the Devils. Beautiful step through the middle, driving it up this western side of the ground. York, the teammate. And well picked up by Tyndall. Handball, Hellier. Hellier swoops, wins the free kick. Superb work from Charlie Hellier. Read the play early, did what was necessary. Coming out wide for Jemima Smith. Check the Yeronga Instagram page for some wonderful words from Jemima, who's an Army reservist, which is a drone aircraft technician, who's way too qualified for me. Inside 50. It's going to take a good couple of kicks to get inside 50 though today. Maroochydore trying to find a way out. It's not going to be easy in these conditions. Oswald. Perhaps unlucky not to give away a free there. It looked like she dropped it cold in the tackle. Beautiful stepping from Crystal Povis. And then hacked ahead. Oswald looks to have it covered. Clever work. Had Mika Knight in their senior debut bearing down on her. And for someone who hasn't been playing Aussie rules for all that long, showed a lot of experience and craft. Maroochydore with a 1-goal lead. Golding, in the leadership group this year, comes off the field. And they'll be extracted from the mud. It's always a danger on a day like this that if the ball goes too far underground, when you dig it up, you might come up with something else. Discover lost species. Maroochydore able to get the clearance. Taken by Tavira. Represented Papua New Guinea in the Pacific Cup last November, up at Maroochydore. Been living in Australia a while now. Flew, Panaho with the tackle. So good work by Tyra Tavil to get it back to the 50. And Yeronga getting a decent sequence of possession and territory. Panaho knocked it forward. That was well read off the side. Not entirely sure that was a legitimate handball from the captain, Tony Zini. Oswald to clear. Well taken by Bell. Possibly dropped it on impact. Looked for Hellier. Had to deal with a defender coming across the front of her. But Yeronga just finding ways to knock it forward. Out the back, that's a strong tackle as Buesville was brought to ground, and Yeronga with an excellent opportunity to get on the board.
Press up, press up.
Panaho goes forward for the ball up. Came off the back of her head on the ground, it's a lottery. Still no one's ball. Bella Turner, I think, had her hands on it at one point. Tonya Zini. Knocked it out wide. Raquel Sutton putting pressure on. Was stolen. Some good hands in the contest from Kiara Lee Rowe. And the free kick's gone to Yeronga. Apologies for missing that. So a set shot to Kiara Lee Rowe for that tackle in the right forward pocket. She's played both matches in this year's comp for Yeronga, but hasn't scored yet. But looks to be a good key forward. Squirted off the foot. Has created an opportunity they didn't expect. Wonderful scrambling defence. I think it was Buesville on the ground who was just able to take the ball away from the boot. A weak clearance. Taville tried to draw the free. Shot came in. That was from Knight towards the pocket. They're finding a way. Tyndall somehow got it out. Togliattini will clear. Lands in the mud and somehow rolls. Ball picked up at the back by Eliza Ta'ala. I'll get that right. Held off the ball. Yeronga free kick. They get a chance to relaunch. Tara Taville. They do like to play wide. It was something evident under Stuart Mackay last year. And again under the man they call Sachs this year. Turned over. Buesville bit off a bit more than she could chew. And the tackle was strong from Povis. She got her first goal at this level last week against Southport, which is no mean feat. Over the top of Hellier. Intercept mark not quite taken in defence. Big clearance. That came from Demi Sultan, one of the New Zealand contingent. Important tackle. Might have been Melody McHugh out there. Apologies for missing. Back inside 50, the Devils. Turned over again. That was Danielle Fenwick, who's come back to the competition this year after playing back with her junior club, Boyne Island Tannum Sands. Just flirting with giving away a 50 as the throw back to the kicker didn't quite meet its mark. Playing on, Clutton. Looking for Hellier, just through the fingers. Maroochydore sweeping well around the back. That's excellent work. Out towards the middle of the field. Had a bit of a roll on, clash of bodies. And they're still on the way forward. It's gone goal side towards Amy Bissett. Bissett looking for a bit of space. Goldie Putney tried to close it down. Bissett broke the tackle. Bissett over to the left.
Set up, let's go, zone!
Yeronga nearly caught hopping, just one breakaway. Maroochydore absorbing pressure for the last, probably 10 minutes or so. Nearly scored on the counter. They begin again. Both sides know that regardless of the boggy conditions, Soraya Scarf-Johnson on debut with the handball, number 16 shirt. Bizamana in the 31. Squeezed out. Ta'ala again.
Abby, go bring her up!
Just kicked away accidentally. Hard up on the boundary. Good work by Povis. And a brilliant tackle. Absolutely superb from Marnie Marshall. Academy trained. She goes inside. Just wasn't quite able to reach the forward in the form of Gilliland. Holding the ball. And the Yeronga defence holds up. Turned over Sultan. Plays on quickly. Booming kick inside 50. Ta'ala did well just to spoil. Back to Sultan. Hoofed inside from Waldron, the Kiwi connection. Good work from Taville to turn it over to Clutton. Looked for space. It was closed down by Depot. Depot kicks it forward. Bit of friendly fire in the back line as Birch goes back. Outside of the boot from Bissett. Needs to get a roll on. Bissett scored. She needs so little time and space to score, Amy Bissett. It's the 10th minute now, so clearly they haven't been absorbing pressure for 10 minutes before. But Maroochydore can be well pleased with how they kept their composure and did well not to concede a point. This is where some players from Yeronga can stand up and say, okay, this is a chance to show how mentally tough I am. Marshall out of the middle. She's been racking up the clearances early. Bizamana going sideways as no one can really get control. Bizamana, just a bit of high contact. She went in hard on the Maroochydore number 7, who's Langmaid. So we've had a late jersey change. Langmaid was named in 12. She is in fact wearing 7. Squeaks inside the 50. Soccred. Being chased, just needs to be soccred through. Abby Rankin doesn't get on the score sheet all that much. And in fact, both goals she's scored in her career have been on this ground. Rankin gets Maroochidore's 3rd. So Maroochydore in the last couple of minutes, 2 things have happened. One is that Marley Marshall in the number 21 jersey has started controlling the middle of the field. And secondly, they've worked out how to play for territory. Not be quite so pretty with the passing. You can get it somewhere up the northern end of the ground. But Povis has a chance to clear, was legitimately but heavily bumped in traffic. Sutton had it reefed from her. Misson in number 22 was in the middle of that pack, and it will be balled up. 17 minutes plus time on in the competition this year. Used to be a straight 20. It's much fairer for the women, given this is one level below AFLW. Good tackle. Umpire was blindsided, so no free kick can be paid. Just be a ball up. No issue with that. Jasper Jordan taking her turn in the middle. Found Marshall again. Had about 4 clearances in the last 2 minutes. Just through the hands of Scarth Johnson. Turned around, was kicked forward by Bissett. Out towards right half forward. Kick towards goal, wasn't pretty. It's going to skid. It's going to miss.
Set up!
And the Roos have their tails up. Yes, I know what I just said. Yeronga looking for a way out. Come out towards Bizamana. He's well spoiled. And the just kept in. With Billy Nissen, sorry, not Billy Nissen, Poppy Tyndall. Well knocked inside. That came back towards Lucy Massey. Sorry, Jess Whitehouse. Yeronga looking to clear. Went through the hands of Lana Lowry, who played for Yeronga in this fixture last year. Was moved north. Oswald went for the soccer. Up towards Tyndall. Wide. Was able to find the run of Whitehouse. Back towards Massey. Good tackle from Bizamana. Just couldn't quite wrap up the arms. But they have caused the turnover. That went into the arms of Rowe. Turned over to Jordan. To Poe. And then free kick goes Yeronga's way. No, the arm, I was about to say, I thought, hang on, Jordan was held off the ball. Why is the arm going up that way? It didn't. Jordan.
Get back! That's you!
Lowry couldn't hold the slippery ball to Poe. Just got an early touch, so she'll win the free kick.
She just came into the footy, mate, and she needs to just line it off.
Just a little bit eager was Bell. We probably couldn't see if the ball hadn't been picked up cleanly. Play it down, so the clock stops, which is why this is fairer than it used to be, where often injuries would take a lot of time out of the game. And well spotted. Just needed the layup free kick. And Abby Rankin came into this match with 1 career Bond University QAFLW goal. Maybe about to double that in 1 quarter. It's a heavy ball, and it's over to the right-hand side. 3-3-21, and after Yeronga dominated probably a good 7-minute period early in the quarter. It's been all Maroochydore for the last, let's say, 6 minutes or so. Off the side of the boot, that's out on the full. We do have the lasso rule effect in this competition this year as well, so if it's outside or between the 50-metre arcs, it doesn't matter whether it's out on the full or not. Gilliland unable to hold on. No shame in these conditions. Lovely centering kick. Just went through the hands of Pulteney. Scramble. We had a very weird situation where about 5 players were looking at the umpire almost as though he was a film director. Knocked forward by Lowry. Rankin with the snap. That's brilliant from Rankin. Just to the side of the ruck contest, lurking like a journalist in a military group chat, and over the shoulder for a goal. 4 goals from Maroochydore, 2 to Amy Bissett, 2 to Abby Rankin. If you're playing the city's games, that's 2 goals to Bernie and 2 goals to Moranbah. Maroochydore on top. Coaches are working out what to say to their teams at quarter time. As Tyndall breaks the tackle, and she goes wide. Being chased by Waldron. Good work from Langmaid to get back. Waldron brought to ground strongly, and it needs a strong tackle to bring Waldron to the ground. About 95% muscle with Waldron. Jemima Smith just had it tackled out of her grasp. Ball up, strong tackle from, I think it might have been Parkinson. No, it wasn't, it was Clutton. Redpath will be happy because they've started to take control of this quarter from about the midpoint. And the tackle continued long after the ball had been disposed. So Yeronga with a free kick in midfield. A couple of minutes left in this quarter. Time for Yeronga to build an attack. They don't need to blaze away. Tyra Taviel. They have looked good wide this year, Yeronga. Now centering, going inside 50, or just outside rather. And then turned over, kicked away by Misson. Scarf Thompson goes for a bit of a fall. And the ball wasn't handed back correctly, so that's a 50. That's a tired error. It had to be given, but you can barely call it ill-discipline. Although maybe that's me acknowledging why I'm not a coach. 4 goals already in this quarter. Jess Whitehouse from the Frankston area in Victoria goes with a short kick. That's intelligent. Because when Amy Bissett's on fire, why not throw in a bit of fuel? Gilliland made a lead, which is exactly what a supporting forward's supposed to do, but I suspect Amy just had a wry smile and said, no, I've got this. Amy Bissett, about 35 metres out, and that is a hat-trick in the first quarter. The encouraging sign for Yeronga in that last passage of play was that they moved the ball wide and started to look dangerous. The encouraging side for Maroochydore was they were able to turn over the ball at halfback. And with the middle exposed, they were able to turn it over very, very quickly. Now, we do have an injury as the debutant Soraya Scarth-Johnson is just being helped off the field. Difficult to tell at this point how serious it is. Hopefully it isn't, and we'll see her after she's been patched up a little. But Scarth-Johnson, just off the field. Beautiful work out of the middle to Tonyazzini. Hit space, Clutton tearing back. Just kicked off the ground by Bissett. Good work by Clutton. Only 16, but shows a lot of class. There's just a few touches on the field. Gives away... No, in fact, she got a push in the back. No, she didn't. The arm went up the wrong way again. Yeah, dragged the ball back in, so she's given away a free kick. commentator's curse. Bissett goes deep. Just dropped at the back by Birch. Depot putting on the tackle. A few Yeronga players just lifting their head. Depot at the back of the contest. Tries to get a kick away. It's a little ugly. Ta'ala got a handball away. Goes out of bounds for a boundaries throw in. Dangerous position, but the clock may beat them. Been an excellent quarter for Maroochydore. 5-3-33. They lead the Yeronga Devils yet to score in round 3 of the Bond University QAFLW.
Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympic since '92? How do they do it? Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
The Anzac Day clash between Yeronga South Brisbane and the Maroochydore Roos is now so wet even the camera is wearing a raincoat. Welcome back to Lation Park. Yeronga had their chances early in the first quarter, but for the second half of that quarter, the second eighth, if you will, it was all Maroochydore. Amy Bissett has a hat-trick, and Abby Rankin has 2 goals, taking a career tally in this competition from 1 to 3. Marley Marshall was outstanding in the middle of the field, was racking up the clearances. For Yeronga, there were some very good contributors. Lily Clotton was getting her hands dirty, getting over the ball. Tara Taville was frequently in space. Ebony Panaho, former tennis player, she was, I'll just say rather good. I haven't forgotten what her ranking was, but she was pretty sure she was at professional level. Now the captain of the Yeronga Devils. And giving a bit of elite sporting experience as well as a bit of physical presence in the middle of the ground. From Maroochydore, while Marshall's been the outstanding one, the work of Poppy Tyndall in defence has been excellent to watch. Likewise, Billy Misson in the number 22 from Maroochydore getting involved in the middle of the pack. And of course, Bissett and Rankin have their reward on the scoreboard. Everyone's going to look at the score sheet at the end of this game and say, well, you can see who dominated the first quarter. Both Yeronga and Maroochydore chasing their first win of the 2025 Bond University QAFLW. Taville. Bit of space, bit of toe. He's well cut off at the back. That might have been Whitehouse, just picked up in the middle of the field by Buesville. Pushed up to Poe. Used her body well. Skirts around the defender. Good mark taken at right half forward by Lowry. No boos from the crowd. If you know, you know. Lowry. Towards the goal square. Lands in space. Gilliland tried to handball it back. Still on the ground. Gilliland's towed that through. Gilliland scored. And that is Lily Gilliland's first goal in the Bond University QAFLW. Coming in the first minute of the second quarter. That's 2 quarters in a row the Roos have opened with a goal in the first minute. The pressure from the Maroochydore forwards just kept hounding the Yeronga defence into errors. A lot of these Yeronga players are very young, and when you've got someone a few years older than you bearing down on you, it's very easy to say keep your head over the ball and don't lift it. It's a bit harder to do. Kicked the wrong way. Poor Bella Turner on debut has kicked it in the wrong direction, given Maroochydore a goal scoring opportunity. Again, socket off the ground. And missed to the side.
Corey, I'll go forward line.
So 7 points to open the scoring, and for the sake of Bella Turner, it was a good mark taken by Melody McHugh, who looks good in space. Good run. Hopefully she gets some more opportunities today. Turned over. Defence was strong. Gilliland on the ground. Semi-clearance. Some strong work again from McHugh. They've censored it. Strong kick comes in from Jordan. That is excellent goalkeeping, so to speak, from Eliza Ta'ala. Goes back to the eastern side of the ground. Not entirely sure that back to the congestion was where they wanted, but they are making a fist of it, competing well. Just taken off the ball. Bizamana. The physical presence was good. The kick could be improved upon. Hellier kicked it away. Maroochydore on the attack again, just not unable to be held by Buesville. Gets around on the left, gets up towards Gilliland, bounces off her chest. Gets a second opportunity, the snap is well off target and goes out of bounds. No score.
Push down.
Just went over the back of Lowry. It fell to Poe. Poe trying to run through traffic and probably should have kicked on the left. Once again, it's very easy sitting up here out of the rain. But I don't think Poe running through traffic is the move she'd make. She had a second opportunity. And a bit of crashing off the ball. Taville wins the free kick. She's clearly got an engine because keeps turning up in either end of the ground. Those are the four corners. Toniatini unable to get it. Hellier swooped well over the back. There's a whistle. We'll go to Raquel Sutton as she and Toniatini just discussed dinner plans. To Raquel Sutton. Clancy Sutton, the co-captain, is here with Ebony Panaho. Out this week. Off the foot of Bizamana. Hellier on the ground. Swooped around the side by Oswald. Bizamana with a strong tackle. Fenwick will sweep. And is immediately beset upon by Rowe. No one really with control. That'll just be a ball up. But Yeronga showing they can compete that 50-50 ball. They can maintain that intensity. They have a very happy Sacks at half-time. Povis found a way to keep it in. Back towards Taville. Finding a way forward was well caught. I'm not sure that was the right time for Bell to play on, but maybe didn't go 15 anyway. But she's been able to get the ball up. Good recovery from Kimmy Bell on the boot. Hellier in the ruck. Put pressure on Jordan. Jordan did well. Has a second opportunity. And yeah, the handball didn't go anywhere, so that'll be called a holding free kick. As Bellatuna receives a nice little present. Oh, it's my free kick. How nice. Cut off. Not the best disposal, taken by Langmaid. The slingshot. And that's going to make some great photos from Demi Sultan. We can superimpose a rock guitar on her. That'll be a fantastic little gif. Just inside 50. Jordan getting very involved. Handball over the top. They're moving their ball wide by hand quite well. The infield kick wasn't as good, but some good signs. Yeronga looking to work their way out. Langmaid turned it over. That was a brave take. So-called hospital pass. And the umpires just called play on. I think players expected play to stop, and the umpire said, no, it's not time for an ad break yet. Maroochydore camped on the 50. They've pretty much run its entire width.
Go, G!
Fenwick able to control it. Went back to Rankin. Then cleared from the back by Lucy Massey. Marshall. Beautifully brought down. Very, very strong tackle. And Marshall's been running rampant today. That was nearly a 50. Povis was very much encroached upon. On another day, that could have been a 50-metre penalty. Fenwick with the punch at the back. Jordan getting involved. Good work on the ground from McHugh. Fenwick again. Handballed out towards Rankin. Rankin brought to ground. No prior opportunity. Some strong tackles from Bell in the last couple of minutes. Looks the pass at this level. Jordan, lovely little tap down. Just not quite able to set Marshall free. Further work from Misson. Jemima Smith. Bizamana. Got a bit of pace. Shows the soccer skills. Maroochydore scramble well. No one in possession. Golding the back of the contest. Just unable to find the space that she sought. Has a second opportunity. Sweated upon again. Might have been Fenwick. Wins the free kick. Amy Golding looks slightly miffed as she received that ball. It's always so nice to have a leader who's a little bit cranky. Over the back, opportunity for McHugh. Did very well on the ground, brave work, just knocked it away from Sutton. Big opportunity for the Devils. Knocked outside by Sutton. Marshall scrambles well. Dropped the ball cold, umpire didn't see it. And again, Bell tackling on the ground. She's racking up the tackle stats. Fenwick working hard for Maroochydore in defence. Again, lays an egg out the back, drops goal side. The tackle from McHugh. McHugh's been outstanding in the last minute. And she showed form like that in the first 2 rounds as well. Yeronga yet to score in this match. Massive opportunity. Povis, very strong tackle. Very much outsized against Bewsville, but clung to her like a limpet. Out the back, came out towards Bell, looking for space. The shot comes in. Just misses from Rowe. But they are on the board, but they weren't far away from making the biggest celebration that it was for Kiara Lee Rowe. There's an element in today's game of a match between Park Ridge High, which is supplying a few players for Yeronga, and Mountain Creek High, supplying a few players for Maroochydore, both schools of excellence for Australian football. Just taking a tumble, knocked over with Billy Misson. Clutton working hard. DePoe kept her feet. It's literally a one-on-one battle. Called a throw. So Maroochydore with a free kick to Latea DePoe. And in terms of the effort she put in, you can put up an argument to say she earned that. Through the hands. It was cleaned up by Birch. Kick away, just squirting off the side of the boot. Birch working hard. Air swing from Misson. That's a fine. Birch. Doesn't have to be a fine. You don't listen to the commentator. Hoofed forward by Marshall. Knocked out well, skillfully. Sultan moves it out wide to Bouchard. Bouchard to the pocket. Ta'ala will clean that up, but it was a bit messy. Maybe not the time to handball. That probably was the time for a clearing kick. Important tackle from Birch. And just as the Yeronga defence looked a bit disorganised, Jess Birch on debut saves the day. Not able to be held by Rowe. He's got busy. Tyndall brought to ground. Tackle calls the turnover. Fenwick has Panaho on her. Panaho with a double effort. There's some good shepherding as Edgar was able to handball it forward. Good charge down. That was from Bell. There's behind Fenwick. Edgar cleaning up again. Scored twice in the Anzac Day trips to last year, Haley Edgar. Very versatile player. Tyndall on the ground. Hellier. The players are secretly loving this. Flip go the cameras. Sutton. Good work on the ground from Oswald. Dragged into the pack, I feel. So Yeronga has a free kick and Charlie Hellier has reward for effort. Just the one goal in this quarter, although it was about this time. That was a throw, but no one saw it from Fenwick. Edgar. Wrapped up well by Grace Parkinson. Parkinson has moved around a few times. Been at Southport for a while, couldn't crack the top grade. Good to see Grace getting an opportunity in seniors football at the Devils. Strong tackle from Rowe. You can watch the teenager players for the Devils growing into this match. They would have liked this second quarter to have been the first quarter, if you understand what I mean. Not your fault if you don't.
Push down
Free kick to the Devils. Probably about 75 from goal. Not really anyone far forward except Sutton, who's being watched closely. Jemima Smith's gone forward as well. Again, have a look at the social media pages for both of these clubs, but for Jemima Smith, that's been marked. That never looked like a mark. And then suddenly it was taken by Lucy Massey. And if that gets put on Instagram, her friends from the South East London Giants will go wild. The following mark wasn't any worse than Jenny Sultan. In front of Rankin. Cleverly knocks it forward, gets behind Tabir. Appeals for a free kick, but concedes one, and rightly so. Just gets a little word in the ear from Jess Whitehouse.
Compete, KL!
Tabir's centering kick, just off the top of the boot slightly. Maroochydore with a lot of numbers to the ball. They deserve to get that turnover because they're about 6-on-2 at that contest. Well cleaned up. And then the tackle just continued a little bit long after the kick. So it will come all the way back. And playing it up this near side, the western side. And quite a few Bond University QAFLW trophies have been lifted in past years. There's been 8 grand finals in this ground. Very important ground in the history of Queensland Aussie rules. Certainly women's Aussie rules. As Axel Oswald has turned over $2 million in her career. Good centering kick. Tonya Zini finds a bit of space in the middle of the ground, goes straight up the guts, just a little bit left towards Bissett, and then, yeah, a little bit spectacular, pushed off it by Mika Nice, and Bissett will have a free kick. On a dry day, you wouldn't question whether this was within range for Amy Bissett. On a wet day, there's a little bit of doubt. She does have a long boot. Represented Tasmania at most levels, certainly in the Coates Talent League, and then at open age level. She needs to kick this from about 45. Goes for the second option, hits the deck. Sultan handballs. Yeronga had numbers behind the ball. Rankin still putting a lot of effort on, cleared by Turner, but turned over. Comes all the way back. Tyndall will go route 1. Took a big deflection. Chunk of skin on the way through. Hits the deck. Tavel was in the clear, and then the ball just became soap-like in her hands. Although if it was really soap-like, she'd be clean by now. Hoofed forward. In towards the pocket. That was McCarthy. Out of bounds. Just a boundary throw-in. Of course, the boundary umpires enjoying the lasso rule in this competition because boundary throw-ins with a sopping wet ball aren't that much fun either. Bissett throwing herself around, Marshall applying pressure. But good work at the back just to knock it sideways from, I think, Povis. Turned around. Liz cleared, just went through a few too many sets of hands. Trying to go through the middle was Lucy Massey. And Rugby Union, that would have been a great run. But Bizamana is able to turn it over as the crowd beneath us gets excited. There is an under 13 girls captain's run at half time. As Edgar turns the ball over, was looking for Tyndall in the middle, who does well. Personally, I thought Tyndall was a real chance to be drafted by the Lions last year. She wasn't. And just numerically, not everyone who's good enough to be drafted can be. Langmaid inside 50. Wants to find a target. Finds a 50-50. Gilliland off the ground. Misses to the right. That was nearly something from nothing for the Roos. A little over 30 seconds remaining until half-time. Yeronga just with the one behind on the board. There's an alternate universe in which they've scored 3 goals. Ta'ala. Nearly hit Lowry. Plays it back well. McCarthy. He's a former Western Bulldog in the VFLW. Goes to Langmaid. Clever chip over the top. Not able to find Gilland. Has Bissett in support inside. Well turned over. The Yeronga defence has done a lot of good things. They haven't got rid of the danger though. Rankin. Chipped over the top. Misses to the left. And that's all she wrote in the first half of this Anzac Day clash between Yeronga and Maroochydore. Yeronga, one behind, plays Maroochydore 6, it's either 6-5-41 or 6-6-42.
Inside this building is a simulated hospital ward, a high-tech biomechanics lab, a commercial kitchen, and a whole virtual home. Let's explore the new Bond Institute of Health and Sport in just 61 seconds. This is the 12-bed simulation hospital ward. From day one, Bond students gain hands-on experience in allied health and exercise science. This is the Work Play Lab, which gives students the opportunity to provide occupational therapy for our youngest, while the Activities of Daily Living Lab simulates a full home environment, giving students the chance to practice mobility work with our wisest. From sprinting to golf swings, this track can track it. Using pressure sensors and high-speed cameras, it can analyze anything from age-related conditions to elite sports training. Wow. The Kitchen Lab has solar-powered sustainable cooking stations, giving postgrad nutrition and dietetic students access to commercial-grade equipment.
Thank you.
Why don't you come and check out the Bond Institute of Health and Sport for yourself? Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? I've got 61 seconds to race you through the life of a student in the Bond Elite Sport program. Strap in. Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain, supporting student athletes like Mia. Student athletes have access to flexible study loads, adjusted academic requirements, and tutoring. The top tier of student athletes even receive funding to assist with their travel and competition costs. Bond also runs 4 high-performance sporting programs that field competitive teams. There's netball, rugby, AFL, and swimming. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Whether it's producing world-class athletes or offering scholarships to high-achieving students every single year, sport is alive and well at Bond University.
Welcome back to Lation Park, Yeronga. Half-time in this round 3 Bond University QAFLW match on Anzac Day between the Yeronga South Brisbane Devils and the Maroochydore Roos. Maroochydore leading 6-6-42 to Yeronga, just the one behind. 5 of Maroochidore's goals were scored in the first quarter at the left of your screen. 3 to Amy Bissett and 2 to Abby Rankin. And then Lily Gilliland scored in the first minute of the second quarter. And then Yeronga looked a lot more organised, and a lot of their younger players started standing up and competing a bit more forcefully, a bit longer. And just on its own, that second quarter was won 9-1 by the Maroochydore Roos. For Maroochydore, a bit more of a slog in that quarter. Jasper Jordan was good all quarter, but she had a 5-minute period where she was just everywhere and trying to play every position at once and nearly succeeded. Tonya Zini's been making a lot of runs through the middle. Hayley Edgar making her presence known in defence. Poppy Tyndall pushing up from defence. Beginning there, but any time she had the opportunity to join the midfield and create an overlap, she took it. Lucy Massey starting to throw her body around. Marley Marshall not as visible in that quarter, but maybe she's being kept for this one. It's no longer wet overhead, but it is very, very wet underfoot. Third quarter at Lation Park, as Crystal Povis makes friends on the far wing. Hellier pushing the side out of the way, created a bit of space. Wrestles on the ground, causes a restart. Abby Bouchard up against Hellier. Hellier beats Bouchard. Hellier's got the bit between the teeth in this quarter. No territorial gain of any note yet. Hellier again, time to jump well. Turner made one horrible error in the second quarter and then had a very good quarter thereafter. Maroochydore find a way forward. Langmaid just couldn't pick it up, had it kicked out from underneath her. Finding a way forward, just kicked in the wrong direction from Knight under pressure. Maroochydore on the attack. Whitehouse undercooks the kick. Povis cleaning up at the back. Looked classy. Just past Turner, trying to get around Tyndall. Sockers it. Playing for an offside trap. Brilliant work from Turner until the ball dropped. Ben from Enhanced Football, there's a job for you. Depoe tried to get the handball away, got enough of the hand to it. Over the top from McCarthy. He's looked good in parts in this match. He's played at a very high level. Strong tackle. And Golding looked up expecting a whistle. Was a bit dismayed when there wasn't one. Wins the free kick. And in fact, that was Claire Walker. Apologies. You've got to throw the ball back to... I think the Maroochydore player is protesting that the ball slipped out of her hands, and it did. But there's no provision in the laws of Australian football to say if the ball slips out of the hands, the umpire will go have another go at it. And another 50. Good old 100-metre penalty. Looks like something may have been said on the mark. You've got to learn about umpires and referees in other sports. Doesn't matter if you think they're right. Even when they're wrong, they're right. So Lily Clutton, having needed her passport to get from where she made the tackle to where she is now, still outside of range, unless she's about to teach us something. A flat kick, goes through the hands of Langmaid. Beautiful tackle up forward by Bell. Kicked off the ground by Parkinson. Falls towards Sutton. Sutton outside of the boot. Raquel Sutton. Absolutely fantastic work. Yes, the 100-metre penalty helped, but you've got to convert your opportunities. And Yeronga has with a goal to Raquel Sutton. Second of the year, fourth in her career. Previously played for Cooperoo and Coolangatta in this competition over the space of the last decade or so. And Sutton deserves the plaudits for putting the ball through the posts. But the work from the entire forward line to maintain the pressure and ensure that what has been a very organised Maroochydore defence today couldn't get their ducks in a row. Rankin, Bizamana, look good today. Bumped off was Whitehouse. Clutton, who of course created that goal with not quite a sweet kick off the boot, but it went into a handy place. Excellent charge down. Might have been Sultan. It wasn't. It was McCarthy with the charge down, and she's caused a turnover in midfield to Oswald. Plays slightly to the left. That's a good mark in the conditions by Lowry. Maroochydore trying to restore dominance. There's been a whistle. Play on. Bissett. Advantage was paid. It'll be caught in the goal square. It won't be caught in the goal square. Oh, this will be interesting. Bit of confusion out there. I think the umpires are talking to each other. None of the players seem to know which particular umpire is in control. The behind's been awarded and it's been allowed to stand. So, in the end, if you only watch the ball and what happened, that was actually a very normal, boring piece of play that yielded a behind. Just rapid in confusion. It's like watching a Woody Allen film. Goldie Poltney. Ask your grandparents if you don't get that reference. Poltney. Looking for Bizamana. That'll be just came off the boot. That is a lasso free kick. So a little bit of an experience from Bizamana by going for it with the foot so close to the boundary. Nearly cut off. Physical work. Just looking for the safety of the boundary line. That almost seemed to be bowled in. Turning it over, Lowry will get back to where we started. So Lana Lowry about 70 metres out, I'd say, looking for options. Told to play on. Classic mistake. This happens a lot. The first whistle, when a player's on the mark, is to tell the player with the ball to get on with it. The second one is when the player on the mark is allowed to move. And a lot of players don't realise that. So Lana Lowry's been marched forward 50. It's a mistake you only make once. Lana Lowry played for Yeronga last year, misses to the left. The Sutton breathes a sigh of relief. So Maroochydore clearly stung by conceding the goal. And they've upped their tempo ever since. Taville handed it off to Walker. Subterranean kick seemed to work. With good pressure from Bouchard. The work on the ground was strong from Waldron. Found a way to squish it forward to Bissett. Povus has gotten through a mountain of tackling work today. Walker working hard at the back. And Sultan wrapped up by Poltley and Walker. Nearly went to Poltley. Lowry just knocked away. Possibly needed to get hurt over the ball. Again, easy to say from up here. Handball inside Bissett. She's already got 3. Looks for a bit of space. Kick was a bit low. Well picked up by Walker. Turned over to Langmaid. Langmaid well positioned. The outer brick in the defensive wall from Maroochydore. Going to the left, spectacular effort from Lowry, trickles through for a minor score. So Yeronga have showed they can score when they catch Maroochydore napping. The next challenge is to take them on when they're coming at them hard. For Maroochydore, they're playing alpha. They're trying to show that they've got a level that Yeronga can't get to. Has that gone out in the full? It hasn't. Umpire just demonstrating that they passed the test with 100%. The sun has come out. Doesn't make the ground conditions any better, but at least it may just allow the flight of the ball to be a bit more reliable. Ball up about, let's say, 70 out from Yeronga's defensive goal. Clever work from Tyndall. She's been impressive today. Rankin on the ground. Povus, been a lot to like about her work today. Clutton went without it. Back to Tyndall. Knew that Taville was right behind her and said, yeah, let's have a hug. They never did release a Care Bears AFL set. That would have been something. Rankin over the top. Clever punch forward. That was from Marshall. Apologies, missing. Bit less muddy on the far side of the field. I'll take it's not muddy, it's just not as muddy as the near side of the field, so just a bit more opportunity to get a bit of free-flowing football going. But of course the other impediment to that is just the swarming pressure of both these sides. Massey again tried to burst through traffic, just about succeeded. Yeah, there were kicks in danger. And so, quite rightly, the free kick goes to the Roos, to Lucy Massey. Blow to anyone watching for Inverness. Brilliant charge down. Hellier. Over the top, turned over to Fenwick. Hellier with the second effort. Was picked up by, I think that's Bewesville in the middle. And Hellier again wins a free kick. That's her second holding free kick of this quarter. Don't know who her parents are, but they must be impressed. Comes out wide towards Langmaid. Jordan. He's went underneath Golding. Got some good support though in the form of Panaho. Turned over it again to Jordan. Again, Jordan's activated turbo mode. Waldron went hard at it, got the head over the ball. Was unlucky not to end up with it. Back to Panaho. Couldn't get a clean kick away. The word clean is relative today. Bewesville. Tavill. Panaho. Panaho thumps it. Can be a game of territory today. Oswald in the fullback position. And yeah, that's probably a free kick. But Grace Parkinson just being a little bit alpha. And turned over. Sutton getting very involved. Dropping back from the full forward position. Will come wide. Spotted. Oh, on a dry day, that's a mark to Povus. Positioned their body well as well. Good work from Tonya Zini. DePoe with a strong tackle. Lowry been excellent in this quarter. Langmaid been good all match, getting plenty of touches, getting involved. Again, finding a way to get it forward. DePoe keeps it wide, looking for Gilliland. Gilliland tries to break the tackle, nearly succeeded. Squirts out again towards DePoe. DePoe looking for space. She's got so much speed. And then Bissett, who just seems to be drawn like a magnet to where the next kick will land. Found Gilliland in space as the Yeronga defence, to be honest, probably just switched off for a second there. We're just waiting for the set shot. And that was exploited by the young but experienced Amy Bissett, who shows that she can set them up as well as she scores them. But Lily Gilliland, who scored for Maroochydore in the second quarter, that was her first goal in the Bond University QAFLW. And that's her second. No, it's not. It was touched. I will say it looked touched, and then I got fooled by the celebration. So, well done, Lily. Although it's 4-1, shame on you, isn't it? So, anyway. So just the one goal since the first quarter for Maroochydore, but they've earned that right by scoring 5 in the first quarter. Good sweeping from Jordan. Was able to evade one tackle. Taddle. Don't know how she pinched that. Sutton bumped off it by Marshall. Marshall still got the kick away. Cleaned up by Bissett. Found DePoe. Important hand from Birch. And then cleaned up round the back from, I think, Povis it was. Just can't quite get the two-pass connection to clear. Out towards Langmaid. Langmaid in a bit of space. Skirts around Povis. Langmaid onto the right. That is a brilliant goal from Samantha Langmaid.
Hey, pass rush, mate.
And for those keeping score, another Tasmanian product, again from the northwest in Burnie. I don't know whether Langmaid and Bissett played together in Tasmania, but they're certainly combining well here. And Langmaid has been getting through a mountain of work, particularly from the second quarter onwards. And to be able to skirt around defenders and then kick with not quite the outside of the boot, but it was definitely had a check side feel to it. And Marshall again from the middle, found McCarthy. Marshall again, this time to Jordan, had it knocked out of her grasp. Bell working well in the middle for the Devils. Just went past the outstretched hand of Tia Smith in the number 29. An encouraging sign is that Yeronga, well down on the scoreboard, deep into the third quarter. But if you're Anthony Sacco, you want to see this kind of pressure. Jasper Jordan's good enough to deal with it. Turned it over. You have force and backs in the middle of the field. Maroochydore inside 50. Bissett trying to get front position. Teams up well with Gilliland. In towards Lowry. Clever handball away. Off the boot. It's going to stop in front of goal. In fact, it did trickle through. Might have been Sultan with the kick. Just lost sight. Apologies. But some very, given the conditions, to get 4 just little dinky handballs in field to create the scoring opportunity was very clever from the Roos. Marshall goes for the spectacular. Gets a kind of a shot away. And some good guarding from Ta'ala means that Panaho was able to take an uncontested mark. Ta'ala doesn't get a stat for that, but it's the kind of thing coaches notice. Underneath Oswald. He's able to get a handball away under a couple of tackles. Whitehouse. Wrapped up by Sutton. Got some kind of possession away. Tonyazzini. She just pronounces it Tognazzini, but her dad likes it when I talk Italian. Inside 50, stoppage. Yeah, a bit of holding. Also, Tia Smith. Full name Takia, but I'm told she prefers Tia. If she doesn't, you can complain to me. I can be corrected. Tyndall. Just pulled off it by Misson. Been very involved today, Billy Misson. Hasn't had a lot of luck. Jordan with a big kick forward. If this gets a roll on, Jasper Jordan from a long way out.
Work down, mid. Kimmy, gonna work.
Well, at least the ball had a comfortable end to its trip. Just over a minute and a half remaining of match time in this quarter. Maroochydore by 47. From a neutral standpoint, you tend to think the battle for the 4 points is over. That's not always what these games are about. We're looking for moments, we're looking for signs, we're looking to see how Maroochydore is building to take on the opponents further up the table. Hellier again, just slipped off the tackle. Marshall did well. Covered in Teflon today, she's broken so many tackles. Jordan uses her strength. Coming through the other way was, I think, Clutton. There's just the barest hint an injury might be coming, which invoked the name of the saviour here in the box. But Massey, if she got hit by a truck, I'd be worried for the truck. She'd be fine. Konyatsini, spectacular work from Turner on the back. I really hope the truck is here. It's always good when a game that's been played at high intensity suddenly moves over to where the spectators are. You start to hear the slaps, you start to hear the tackles hit. And when a quarter ends in front of the spectators, so much the better. 2 goals in that quarter, one to Raquel Sutton for Yeronga, one to Sam Langmaid for Maroochydore. Maroochydore leads 7-12-54 to Yeronga 1-1-7 here on Anzac Day, round 3 of the Bond University QAFLW.
Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
Ready. Like I said, ready. Welcome back to Lation Park in Yeronga. 1 quarter left and a very even quarter. It was 1-6 to Maroochydore and just the 1 goal to Yeronga. But the game has evened out, but that brilliant first quarter from Maroochydore is the difference at the moment. They scored 5 goals, 3 in that first quarter. And have kicked 2 goals, 9 since. But they've earned the right to be in control. But watching two sides in development, with 1 quarter left to play on Anzac Day. For what it's worth, in both matches between these sides last year, Maroochydore finished on a score of 67. Tonyazzini through the middle. Heading up towards Lowry at full forward. Well covered by Panaho. Got the ball loose, no call. Depot moves around the outside. And Panaho with a double effort. That is what you call leading by example. Mostly played reserves in her time. In fact, almost entirely played reserves in her time at this club, Ebony Panaho. But with the exodus, she was a good choice for leader. Good tackle by Fizamana. Introduces Fenwick to the Lation Park turf. And Turner finishes off the job. Luke Waldron. Probably like playing back in Christchurch. Inside to Marshall. Yet another clearance. Depot. Brought to ground, no prior opportunity, but the tackling was strong from Mika Knight. Who's showing some good signs on her senior debut. Tia Smith's done well as a ruck. Putting a bit more pressure on. Depot getting involved. Moved on to the ball. Has played midfield a bit before. Mostly employed as a forward by Maroochydore last year. Had a very good partnership with Jessie McMillan, which was expected to continue this year, and then Jessie got recruited by Aspley. Tonyazzini, handball away. Depot again. Beautiful handball work, just couldn't be held by Rankin. Knocks it out wide. Found a way to Misson. Misson on the weaker left foot. Under Tyala. Gilliland on the ground. Burst away. Gilliland misses to the right. And that's largely due to the pressure put on by Lily Clutton. So it was 10 goals, 767 that Maroochydore scored in both games last year as Kiara Lee Rowe just makes her way from the field. She's walking off unassisted, but she's looking a little worse for wear. So they've already exceeded 7 behinds the Roos, so they won't get the exact score composition. Outside 50, good clearing kick. Massey uses her strengths well. Put in deep by Rankin. Beats everyone. They'll be out in the full. That, I think, came off the foot of Knight. Just an inadvertent, so that could be costly. And I jumped the gun. It didn't go out on the full. Who knew that I couldn't pick the flight of a ball from 100 metres away? Lowry spectacular but ineffective. Semi-cleared. It's taken well by Bouchard. Just off the top of the boot, but there's a few numbers there. Gilliland, not really tracked. Creates space. Needed to swing back to the right. It was a good shot in the circumstances, but another minor score. One of the great additions to the Bond University QAFLW over the last 3 years has been the work of iSports Solutions. We're not quite at the stage where we can provide live player and team stats during the match, as Hellier just came in over the shoulder. But they are calculated. Missin. And Bissett again. He's literally a leading lady. Back to iSports in a moment. 3 goals in the first quarter, none since, but she has set up teammates and look generally threatening in the front 50. A lot of forward craft in Amy Bissett. Looks to be falling short and wide. Gilliland. Good strength from Turner. Yes, match stats will be available probably on Sunday night or Monday morning. And I'll tell you where to go to find them once the ball's not in danger. Lowry. Tapped back, was looking for Bissett. Turner completed the tackle and the free kick has gone against her. Just didn't realise that Bissett had been able to dispose. But clever work from Bissett to dispose quickly. Don't want to take any credit away from her. I mentioned her forward craft a moment ago. That's part of it. It's not staging for free kicks. That's just disposing quickly to earn one. And Amy Bissett becomes the 4th Maroochydore to kick 4 goals in a match against Yeronga South Brisbane. Amy Bissett with her 4th. They scored goals, Maroochydore, in the first minute of the first 2 quarters. Yeronga's been able to hold them out a bit longer. Their defensive structures, and to be fair, defensive efforts have improved across the match. But Maroochydore have kept coming. Yeronga will have periods of dominance for 5 minutes here, maybe even 7 or 8 minutes there. But on those match stats, you will see that the inside 50s have been dominated by the Roos. The AFL Queensland website had a complete makeover over the summer. If you go to play, that is a brilliant hit out from, I believe it was Smith. Back forward, play.afl/Queensland. That's the AFL Queensland website now. Play.afl/Queensland. That'll be a ball up. All the news from across the men's and women's competitions. The state competitions, July the 5th, down at Latrobe Recreation Ground in northwest Tasmania. Queensland men's and women's teams heading down there July the 5th. Those games will be live streamed. And Jamie Stanton, who'll be joining me in commentary at Aspley tomorrow as the Queensland coach. Bizamana, hassled well by Toniazzini. Out the back towards Turner, who I've liked today. Good work going back from Massey. Sutton, did she get there early? Umpire allows play to continue and then stop. Yes, lots of articles about the QAFL and the QAFLW, the TPIL lawyers QAFL and the Bond University QAFLW. News about the country competitions. Women's coaching days, I'll talk about that in a moment, because down at Southport tomorrow, on Sunday rather, a free kick and coffee session being run by Ebony Otto, who last year was coached Bond University in a grand final in reserve grade 4 days after giving birth, and is now the Southport backline coach in seniors. This play just gets bogged down on the eastern edge of the centre square here at Lation Park. But that's free. Any women who have ambitions to coach or just want to check it out, head to Fankhauser Reserve at Southport on Sunday. Details, go to play.afl/Queensland. At the Lation Park, where Bissett has front position, toes it forward, looking to connect with Gilliland. Kept her feet well. Inside, they did enough. Walker just let it go. Gilliland inside to Lowry. Lovely hands to Langmaid, looking for space. Langmaid over the top, doesn't have the strength. Needs to be cleaned up. This kick is important for Yeronga. It looked tired. Lowry still full of running. Good effort, defensive pressure. Might have been Clutton. But they did extremely well to get out of possible trouble. And in fact won a free kick as well. That was Clutton. Oh, well done by Jordan. Bizaman looked all over that. And Jordan said, no, Clutton, I'm going to use it. And use it she did. Lands in no woman's land. Back to Whitehouse. Kicks into space in the pocket. McHugh was tearing back. Whitehouse. Yeronga have the numbers and they use them well. Clutton. The tackle from Depot was strong. Nearly made it all the way back to McCarthy. And the free kick has come back to Whitehouse. New to Maroochydore seniors this year, Whitehouse. Centering kick. Wasn't Amy Bissett this time, it was Latea Depot. Played the Lions Academy the last couple of years. Decided not to go back to the academy this year and concentrate on QAFLW. Depot misses to the right. And I'm looking forward to the social media video where Charlie Hellier's moves on the spot are set to interpretive dance music. Ravel's Bolero. Maybe a bit of Claude Debussy. Yeronga play out. Not taken by Jemima Smith. Turned over to Tyndall. Tyndall kicked it into the backside of Golding, I suspect. Recovered well. Certainly better than Golding. Jordan. Not Jordan, apologies. And marked by Langmaid. Probably a little far out to score. But Depot is in space again. Hasn't been picked up. A couple of the Yeronga defenders haven't really turned around and paid attention to whether Langmaid was going to kick quickly. In the end, she wasn't. Depot on the lead again. Langmaid ignores it. Gilliland on the lead. Goes to the goal square. Hellier had front position. Knocked into space. Depot! Misses to the right. Well worked. Maroochydore had players coming in from behind the contest. The forwards in the goal square knew that if they tipped it back, there'd be someone there waiting for them. About 6.5 minutes here to go. Maroochydore, you would think, would have the 4 points sewn up. If they don't, this game will go viral worldwide. Remember, 67 was what they scored the last 2 times they played Yeronga. Get your metaphorical bets on. Literal betting is bad. Metaphorical bets, go for your life. Depot brought to ground. Yeronga's tackle numbers at the end of today will be interesting to see. They've won a free kick there. That's gone to Walker. Let's come off the inside of the boot. Heads towards the boundary. Should just be a throw-in and will be. Apologies, has been called a lasso, so Maroochydore with a chance to head inside 50. The wind may have got the better of that. Interesting call, touch, so this will be a boundary throw-in. About 35 to 40 from goal. I'd say plenty of football. Umpires found kicking in danger. Yeronga will have a chance to clear through Pulteney. 2 more Anzac Day matches on the AFLQ YouTube channel left today. As Maroochydore try to work it up through the right flank. Just can't string together passes because the Yeronga defence, they are flooding the territory, and Pulteney is rewarded with another free kick, second in a minute. But heading over to Giffen Park at Cooperoo, firstly the Bond University QAFLW match between Cooperoo and the Bull Sharks, followed by, nearly good mark in traffic, just dropped at the end by Misson. Been impressed with Misson today. I'm pretty sure is what I said the last 2 times I saw her play. And then the TPIL Lawyers QAFL men's match between Cooper and Sherwood. That'll get underway at 5:30. Anzac ceremony before that. Commentary from Chris Yinden, Kane Browning. Chris normally commentates in the VFL. Gracing us with his presence once again. Jordan, got away from Smith. Buseville working hard. Not as many things have gone Buseville's way today, but her work rate has been astonishing. Good handball inside. That's from McCarthy. She'll have days where she doesn't work as hard as she does today, but gets more reward. She's worked very hard today. Kicking in danger. Free kick to Jasper Jordan. She's been very impressive today, Jordan. Centering kick. Hits the deck. Pulteney. It's wrapped up by Lowry. Bit of a wrestle. Panaho came in to offer support. Danger not cleared for Yeronga. Just not able to be cleared. There is a nice big muddy patch. Depot! Sweated on that, missed to the right. In fact, I think... Oh, it was about for a moment. I thought it had gone the wrong side of the behind post, but it is a minor score. So the minor scores have racked up for Maroochydore in this match. Admittedly, not great conditions for kicking, either long or accurately. And then tomorrow, 2 o'clock in the TPIL Lawyers QAFL. Lovely from Oswald. Maroochydore versus Noosa in the men's. Followed by Aspen versus Southport in the women's. Maroochydore on the attack. Yeronga holding firm. There is literally no one in the far half of the field. It was a good charge down from Clutton, but she's hurt. I think we're calling for a stretcher, so with a bit over 2 minutes remaining, time will stop. But Lily Clutton, who's looked good in her not quite 3 matches for Yeronga this year. Hopefully it's just a sting and she'll be okay. Holding the elbow and forearm. Warm applause from the Yeronga juniors underneath. Underneath here, I mean. Just waiting for Clutton to leave the field. I don't think we've seen Soraya Scarth-Johnson since she went off the field earlier in the match either, so hopefully she's okay and is back for round 4. They've got an extra day's break with this match being on a Friday. So hopefully that gives any injured players from this match a chance to move forward. It's been a scrappy 4th quarter. There's been a bit of fatigue, but also just the conditions. The ground is now perfect for pig racing. Came through to Rankin. Knocked it forward. Well cleaned up at the back. Support provided by Golding. Brought to ground by Depot. Umpire knows that's not going anywhere. In terms of best players on the ground today, that may have been a Falcon, not sure. Ta'ala. Just got it a little bit loose, but it'll be cut off by Tyndall, who's one of the players I was going to mention. Brilliant charge down. Absolutely superb work. Tried to break a couple of tackles from Turner. Obviously the wrong decision, but you've got to admire the effort. So Oswald gets a second chance, and Turner gets a little highlight. As it just squirts out the back. Yeronga doing enough. That was Pobus yet again. Now I expect to see her named in Anthony Sacco's top 6 when everything's entered the other way. Now, free kick has gone to Maroochydore. I'm guessing that must have been for something off the ball. I didn't see anything that happened on the ball that would warrant it. We have another player down. This looks to be Jemima Smith. And again, go to Yeronga's Instagram page to see her story. So it's Instagram.com/ and I'll get this right, I think it's YSBFC_QAFLW. Up and hobbling. Long shot from Rankin. That may have beaten everyone. And Abby Rankin completes a hat-trick that she began in the first quarter and sneaks it in before full time.
ice on it.
This the box? So this the box. Wait, why are you going back?
Sort of fell out like this.
So while her output hasn't been maybe as good after the first quarter, when the game was there to be won in the first quarter, Marley Marshall was everywhere. And she has still put in a mountain of work since then. So I'd be giving Marley Marshall my best on ground. Jasper Jordan's been outstanding for the Roos, as has Sam Langmaid, Poppy Tyndall, Amy Bissett.
Right now. Okay.
Final 20 seconds. Marshall again, right on cue. Thank you for justifying my decision. Tala. Yeronga able to do enough in the back line. Back in it comes, charge down. McCarthy's worked hard today. They need a mark, and it's Taville who gets one. It's the Maroochydore Roos who retain Anzac Day bragging rights over the Yeronga South Brisbane Devils. They win 9-17-71 to Yeronga 1-1-7. To go through the goal scorers, there were 4 to Amy Bissett from Maroochydore, 3 to Abby Rankin, and then 1 each to Lily Gilliland and Samantha Langmaid. The lone goal for Yeronga was scored by Raquel Sutton in the third quarter. They've given who I thought was best for Maroochydore. For Yeronga, loved the work of Crystal Povas out there today. Charlie Hellier threw herself around all day. Dina Bizamana, this is not going to be her last QAFLW match. She was outstanding. Tyra Tavel also got into space a lot. And Lily Clutton, I hope she's okay because she's showed a lot of promise in her first 3 games and none more so than today. That is all from Lation Park, Yeronga today. Thank you very much for your company. Don't forget, stay on the official AFLQ YouTube channel. You'll need to go to different videos on the channel, but 2 more Anzac Day matches coming up today, both from Cooperoo Bond University in the women's, Cooperoo Sherwood in the men's. Thank you for joining us on Anzac Day, but from Lation Park, it's bye for now. I should have made it explicit that I always go on for a little bit longer than after Phillips is sort of wrapped up. Sorry, work it out. Sorry. Well done, gents. Well done to you. Thank you very much. Cheers. Normally we work in pairs, but because we're facilities here,